All right, the panic is over, the drama is over, but now the questions begin. This gentleman who, for some reason, took it upon himself to steal a plane out of a Tupelo, Mississippi private airport has now crashed, safely crashed, we should say, in a soybean field in Ashland, Mississippi, I'm told about 60 miles north of Tupelo. I say crash landed, doesn't necessarily mean that he crashed, though. It looks like from local folks on the site saying that it's sitting wheels down in a soybean field, that no one else was injured or hurt. Again, we're not getting any confirmations in that regard. If that's so, that is a relief to hear. So many have been emailing me, and kindly so, updating me on what they've been seeing, including Donna, who knows this particular plane well and tells me that this King Air 90 is a plane in training for the military as well. Says that her military son teaches this plane in Corpus Christi, the naval base there for student pilots. So she was wondering aloud if the pilot in question maybe had military experience. A very, very good question, Donna. So we will pursue that, as will Jack Jupin, no doubt, a former FBI supervisory agent who tries to piece these things together. Jack, what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you, Neil, this is one of those scenarios that we unfortunately forecasted after 9/11 in a post-9/11 world. Obviously, when 9/11 happened, there was still a lot of uncertainty when that had happened, that after the crashes in the Pentagon and in Pennsylvania in the World Trade, but we still believed that there might have been planes in the air still. And then post 9/11, during our investigations, this was always a concern of ours. Somebody getting a plane like that, loading it up as much as you can with fuel. Obviously, this situation, it may have been different. I'm sure during that 911 call, there were negotiators talking with the pilot and trying to talk him down, which it looks like they successfully did. But now the investigation begins, right? We're going to have to find out everything about this guy.
You know, we still don't know whether this was something that he did voluntarily or that he was forced to. I mean, that he was quickly running out of fuel. Regardless, he did land this thing. So the crash landing, I'm told by pilots who email me, a crash landing doesn't mean that it's a disaster. It means you crashed and you landed, but the plane can be fine. It can be in great shape. So excuse my ignorance to you pilot experts out there. But Jack, I did want to get a sense of how easy it was for him to steal this plane in the first place. Now, I know, he worked there, so maybe he didn't raise any eyebrows, but, there are a lot of, small airports and the like all around the country. Now, you wonder about those with nefarious intentions and about what they could do.
Yeah, Neil, you're right. And the fact that he had access to it like that is a little alarming. But it just goes to show you this can happen anywhere. It doesn't have to happen in New York or L.A. or Washington or the big cities. This is Tupelo, Mississippi, and this guy was able to get onto a plane, easily access it. And unfortunately, you're right. He had access, and he probably did not raise a lot of eyebrows because he did work there, and he was known to be there. And it only takes, I heard one of your pilots mention earlier, it only takes a couple of seconds to find the plane that's open and start it up and get out. And I'm not a pilot, but a lot of my friends are former military pilots that I worked with at the FBI, and they've told me, it's not that hard. It's really not. And this guy obviously had some type of training. I'm not saying he was a trained pilot, and I agree with the assessment of some of your other experts that he probably wasn't really trained, but he had enough to get off the ground, and he had enough to circle. And he also had enough training and knowledge to put that plane down, as you said, maybe a crash landing that was more controlled crash landing when he came down. So it's interesting that he had to have some kind of knowledge. Most people can't just get in a plane and take it off and land it and circle. So that's just my experience with this. I mean, what's troubling, though, is who is this guy? We got to find his background. We got to see who is he connected? Is this a sole event, or is this an event that happened, in conjunction with maybe other people?
No, you're quite right, Jack. There are a lot of questions, probably more questions now after the fact, about how he was able to steal the plane in the first place, immediately take off. Obviously, that did set off alarms, to your point, at the local airport, and then authorities elsewhere immediately putting out these warnings. But there were a sequence of events in the beginning that caught many, many people off guard for this. And again, this one was resolved peacefully. We don't know the pilot's condition right now, that he is in custody. Don't know much more than that, or why he did this in the first place, or what his beef was with Walmart or the local area. The irony being that it ended 60 miles north of where he wanted to be in the end. But it's over. And now the questions begin.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.